Do you have to give police your ID in public? Can they search your phone at a traffic stop? And can they take your fingerprints and DNA without even charging you? 3 questions, real answers. Let's go. Question 1. Do I have to give police my ID? There is no general obligation in Australia to carry identification or to provide it to police just because they ask. This is where most people get it wrong, because a lot of people assume that a request automatically means a requirement. And it doesn't. The power comes from Section 11 of LEPRA. Police can require your details if they reasonably suspect you can assist in the investigation of an indictable offence, or if they're issuing a move-on direction. That legal trigger is everything. Driving, by the way, is a completely separate category. If you are driving, you must provide your licence details when required. That obligation exists regardless of any suspicion or any other power. The distinction that really matters is this: a lawful request versus a casual one. And the reality is, often it's kind of hard to tell the difference in the moment. So that's where the confusion sits. But police can't demand your ID randomly, out of curiosity or without a lawful basis. Police will often ask first, and then if they get to it and there's a power that's available, they will demand. But it's really important to remember that there is a distinction. If the request is lawful and you refuse, that can be an offence. If it isn't lawful, you are entitled to refuse. The problem is that most people don't know which situation they're in. But remember, if police are using a power, they have to say that they're using a power. They'll tell you, just ask. The rule is you don't have to give ID unless they have a power to make you. Question 2. Can police search my phone? Police can search your phone without your consent if they have lawful authority to do so. Consent there is not a deciding factor. The real question is whether or not the power exists. That power generally comes in New South Wales from Section 21 of LEPRA. It requires reasonable suspicion that you have evidence of an offence or prohibited material on you. That suspicion must be real and articulated. They cannot search your phone just to have a look. They can't do it out of curiosity, and the scope of the search has to match the suspicion they're relying on. Now, if you're detained or under arrest, those powers become a lot stronger. The threshold becomes easier for police to meet and the balance starts to shift. So that's where things start to change quickly. The High Court has made it clear that police must stay within their legal authority. If they step outside of it, the search can be challenged. But remember, the fight happens later, not at the side of the road. You can refuse consent to a phone search, but refusing consent does not stop a lawful search from happening. It only removes one pathway that police might otherwise rely on. And this is the key point. Refusing consent does not stop the search. It tests whether they actually have the power or are in fact using a power. In practice, police will often ask for consent first because it's a lot easier. If you refuse, they may then rely on suspicion-based powers instead. That sequence happens all the time. Question 3, can they take my fingerprints or DNA without charging me? Yes, they can. And this is where most people are genuinely surprised. The trigger is not whether you've been charged. The trigger is whether or not you're in police custody, because that's the point at which police powers expand significantly. Under Section 133 of LEPRA, police can take fingerprints, palm prints, and photographs for identification purposes once you are lawfully arrested or detained. That happens automatically once custody is established. So DNA generally requires your consent, or a court order under the Crimes Forensic Procedures Act. Police can't just take it whenever they want. There are stricter safeguards in place. For children under 14, a court order is actually required. Full stop. It must be. There is no workaround for that. That is an important protection that a lot of people don't know exists. But here's the reality. The moment that you are in police custody, the balance of power shifts fast. Most people don't understand that until they're already in that position. If you've got questions like this, drop them in the comments below and I will keep breaking them down properly so you can actually understand how the system works.